tapped on the screen and seeing what I hate to see. And what that is that they've taken away key protections. Just being consistent. That's it. You want to take away protections from people. Why? Why do you want to take protections from people? Because if they do something that may affect you adversely, you will no longer be able to tell anybody. Has nothing to do with your rights. See, an adverse effect could be contractual, hourly. It could be something against your will. So an adverse effect could predominantly be an issue for you to regain your employment. Because if that protection isn't in that, give you 16 hours because you get paid double pay for the holiday because of your union, you're now working for either you're working for your wage or you're not getting paid with contractually what you were agreed on. So your protection has been removed. The more this keeps going on, the less enthusiastic people are going to be, and the less and the more cynical they're going to be. Um, to be positive, you gotta wake up and try to get that engine started. I'm just getting started, but I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. You know, ain't no machine pumping anything in me. Nobody's telling me. I'm just getting up and doing what I'm supposed to do consistently. I ain't sleeping in. I'm not putting in my mind. I hate this job. I hate the people I'm around. Just wake up consistent. Consistent is better than anything else. No, I'm not rich. No, I'm not financially stable, with whatever word that could be. I'm not in a perfect state, but I'm consistent. And as long as I stay consistent, I can get myself out of this situation. No government, no food stamps, none of that shit. I was in that position before. And when I was explaining to people how the position works to get out of that position, they call it begging. They call it an angle. Now we're in a real life situation and we don't have any drills. There's no way for me to show you the drill. There, you have a certain amount of months to go into these programs and see if they'll still allow you to be a participant. So that's nothing I can say or do to give you a hand up, a heads up, a program up. Go call this number. I can say call Action Housing to pay your rent. I can go tell you to go down to the county assistance building and ask them for emergency housing. I can say go down to the welfare office and say that you need emergency funds for your new job that's going to help you get certification. But it's not there. It's not there because the people that thought it was for poor people, black people, indigenous people, Haitian people, turkey eating people, it was for the majority. It was because it's called an entitlement. Regardless if they call it welfare or not, it's built into the entitlement program. Anyone who works for the railroad, anyone who's worked for mills, anyone who has a legacy cost, once again, I'm going to say it again, these funds are being scalped off the top. So say there's 100% of funding in any business. 13% of that money goes to people who don't even work there anymore. From their premiums to their health care to their pension, someone is paying that. So at the end of the day, the same people that are calling you lazy, saying that you're inadequate, you're not doing enough for America, they're turning around and saying, I ain't gonna do anything because I'm entitled to this money. So the working class that gets up every day consistently, every day, right now in 2024, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, we're paying into a system that's not representing us. And we're losing our entitlements because our complacency on saying, oh, I ain't trying to rock the boat. Well, the boats rock. Boats rock. People are losing their jobs, losing their families, losing their integrity, and there's no protections to protect you. At least when I was going through the administrative law judges, they had empathy in the Department of Labor, the Department of Justice. They was calling the police too. They was threatened by that, but they did no. I had a right. Now you don't have a right, and you're under an authority person. Your unions can't protect you. Your your Inspector General of your state can't help you because all the Inspector General can do in your state is go after people that are in that state. You're out of luck. So yes, I'm going to speak up and point out that the protections that you were afforded were to protect you from moments like this. It's unjust, it's unfair, it's biased. He fired you because what? What reasons do they have a right to fire you? So if they don't have grounds to fire you, you should not be going through adverse effects. Because of a political football being kicked, they're firing you because of politics. So where's your protections? The protections are gone because consistency was ignored. I was telling you that there's such thing as administrative laws. I was telling you there's such thing as administrative law judges. I was telling you to file your complaints with the EOC, the Surface Transportation Act, OSHA, your unions. I was telling you what an adverse effect was. But now those protections are gone. Good morning. So there's nothing I'm not trying to be the burden of bad news. I'm not trying to be the individual that says, haha, I told you so. I'm telling you that America made protections for these moments so you would not be affected by tyrants, racism, bigotry, misogyny. It was all in the writing, but it was interpreted to be arbitrary. So everybody's not in a feminist position. Everybody's not in a male position. Everybody's not in a LGBTQ LMNOP position. But the protections were large enough to protect the full spectrum of people from disabilities, from the American Disability Act. All these laws were protections for adverse effects, not that can stop you from, not to stop you from, you can use Flint, okay? Stop playing with me, little boy. Stop playing with me early in the morning like you're the only person that knows how to survive. You want to tell me how to start a fire? Tell me how your grandmother is going to survive on her dual enrollment health care when they take over her over the counter medicine money. You tell me that. How are you going to how are you going to help her with that? See, it's funny until the rabbit got the goddamn gun. It's funny until the rabbit got the gun. Now that elderly person that's fixed on, hey, you're 9 years old, you should be getting ready for school. My 12-year-old is getting ready for school. He's taking a bath, he's brushing his teeth, he's getting his clothes ready for school. He's not on the internet before he goes to school to get his education about his civic duties. That's what you need to learn first. Your parents need to be watching you and putting you in the right direction to do the right things in life because your generation is going to be the next generation that did not get taught civic duties and not understand your Bill of Rights, your constitutions. You don't even know what an administrative law is. So they don't teach that in school. So what you do is you come out as an adult and you're clueless to your protection. So you're 9 years old and you don't know that you're protected from talking to me on the internet. So how did you get to me? Somehow someone's not watching what you're doing and you went around the protocol. So therefore the information that you're now going to receive is good information for someone who is 18 and over. That's the way of the world now. There's a way around the right way to do things. So you can't miss what you never had. So you shouldn't be on here at 6:30 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, whatever mountain time, central time, Pacific time, Eastern time you want. But the parenting starts from home. So if your kids, okay, so you're old enough to vote. So you're old enough to understand that the Affordable Care Act was to benefit you to have marginal health care because you're healthy. You're 19 years old. Only thing you need is dental, maybe some preventive care, to get checked every once for a physical for employment. Your plan should be $19 a month. And what your $19 helps do, create a susu. By taking away that affordable care credit, now your premium will be $200 a month just for basic preventative care. That's the narrative that people aren't realizing. It would have been nice for you to have that little small plan because it would have helped when you got your tip tube playing deck hockey. It would have helped when you broke your arm when you was playing on a dirt bike. You're in college, you got hurt, and you needed a little bit of money to get by. You had short-term disability, whatever. But when they change the premiums to be unaffordable, there is no more Aflac because Aflac can't transfer the risk anymore because the premiums that they were hiding under were part of a preventative service that helps you be sustainable to get you back to work. So anything and everything these politicians are trying to offer you is something that makes a talking point. But at the end of the day, the talking point is for reality based circumstances. You won't be affected by health care unless you need it. You won't be affected by short term disability if you don't need it. You won't be infected by FMLA if you don't need it. You won't be protected from an adverse effect if you don't need it. So it won't apply to you. It will apply to a whole bunch of federal workers right now. Anybody that's part of a shutdown, they have been affected by an adverse effect. And that was termination of employment, loss of wages. These are things that attorneys can use, but they can't because the protections have been dissolved by people who do not want you to be able to protect yourself. They want you to be able to be a servitude, treat you the way they want to treat you, pay you the way they want to pay you, tell you things that aren't true, but you can't question it because you're in an authoritarian environment. Don't ask, don't tell. Damn near where you're going to be. So until people take serious what they are entitled to, the facade of this is not real is real because the protection is silent. The protection doesn't scream itself into reality and put itself in your face. So if you ain't looking for it, just like in the Word of God, if you're not seeking Him, if you're not seeking that, then you're not worried about that. And that's the craziest part about people's way of thinking. They consistently think that there's a narrative to dismiss you. Oh, he must not work. Hey, buddy, I have 3 jobs with my EIN number, my social security number, and an employee ID. Hey, buddy, I've been verified by I-9. Okay, buddy? Okay, I file taxes every year, sweetie. Hey, sweetie! Sweetie! Yeah, your mother loves me too in front of your dad. So I am not here to entertain you, sweetie! Hey, some people like to be entertained this way, and I don't understand. I feel violated that you rather me violate you to bring you aboard. I'd rather be nice. I'd rather be informative. But I've learned that being obnoxious and rude and shrewd is what you really want. But I'm not going to be ignorant to you. I'm going to be ignorant to the fact that you're ignorant to the fact that you don't have your protections no more. And I'm going to be consistent on that because when you're affected by an employer, it doesn't matter what color you is. You could be cutting trees and dude got you out there with a machine that's squirting oil and brakes ain't locking. You go over that cliff and he don't want to pay your workers' comp claim. You don't have that protection no more because he going to say, he told you and you just kept working. Meanwhile, you recording it and everything. But the inspector general don't exist. Whistleblower protections don't exist. Administrative law judges don't exist. So there's no way for you to get your Social Security, your short-term disability, because we have allowed people to delegitimize how the working class has survived all these years. You think that man who's on that 42 million Americans who's on SNAP, that you want to claim 36 of them as people of Caucasians? You know why majority of them people live in rural America, and you know why they can afford to eat off of welfare? Because the same information that they're not telling you is created by the same people that get the benefit. It's called the Farm Bill. It's a pork spending bill that creates a food chain. And this food chain does the same things over and over again. This food chain does this food chain does that. This food chain does this food chain does that. So at the top of the food chain is the supplier. Beside them, you know, fertilizer. Beside that, tractors, equipment. So those two things create 3 circles. You need fertilizer. You need a supplier of the fertilizer. You need someone to use the fertilizer. And then you need the shipper to ship the fertilizer. So 3 circles are in that food chain that operate separately because each wheel has a different anomaly. See, the supplier, he does a integration thing. The supplier not only brings the food out, he brings the fertilizer in and the feed and the seed and the equipment. So that cycle's like this. If you stop that cycle from the farm bill, see the farm bill's like this, but the cycles are in threes. It's like the Olympics. You got 3 medals. You got silver, bronze, and gold. See, the gold is the supplier, the bronze is the fertilizer, and the silver, I guess you got it now, is the shipper. And if any of those wheels get broken by anybody, each of those wheels will affect the food chain. So no matter who, what you are, you could be the shipper, you could be the supplier, or you could be the driver. You're fucked when you don't have protection.